Hey there, viewers and subscribers of the RGX Sports Network. I'm Hardcore Gamer for Life, and as you can see, I'm in a lobby in All-Pro Football 2K8, and someone just came in. As you can see, the record's pretty good, 49-19 or something, I believe. And yeah, as you can see, I'm 0-0-0-0. Now, I have had this game and played it, and my record was decent, but actually, I was really good at the game that preceded this, which was actually ESPN NFL 2K5. And, you know, after that, the EA bought out the NFL license and such, and so basically these guys were relegated to making games about legendary football players, but the first one just didn't sell well enough, didn't get off the ground to be viable to make a second one. But in a huge tribute to 2K Sports that shows just how much they love their fans, this game is still playable online, although it was released late 2007. All-Pro Football 2K8, so as you saw, the open kickoff bounced out of the corner to the end zone. Now, I went with the play in the I formation, straight run up the gut for the first play, and that's pretty typical. Now, in this play, I'm going for a pass. I'm not going to go for button B here, though. I'm going to go for button X, Maynard. And as you can see, he gets free of his guy really quickly, but that's really not bad pass selection by me. The guy got wide open. My QB just threw a bad pass. It happens. So on this third down play, it's critical I get these yards. Watch the guy with the Y button above his head. That's my tight end. Watch how wide open he gets. Now, I end up passing to the primary receiver in this play, who's Maynard. But if I would have passed to my tight end there, I could have potentially had a touchdown on that play. He got so wide open on there. So, you know, that's just a little bit of me shaking off the rust. But I'm definitely going to go to punt. I'm not that type of guy who goes for it on every fourth down. You'll find people playing video game football online that will. But in all reality, to me, football is a game of thinking. It's a game of field position. And, you know, having a good punting strategy, which, as you can see, I'm kicking into the corner here. What I really want to do is kind of try and what we call coffin corner it, kick it to where it bounces out of bounds, and they can't possibly get a return on it, but I didn't quite aim enough to the right, so I'm going to have to settle for that punt, which was actually a very good one, and it puts them in not the greatest field position. So we're going to start off with a two-man defense. Now, when I play defense, I tend to want to pick a man defense much of the time. In fact, two-man is my go-to play. In other words, you got man-on-man coverage for all the receivers, backs, everyone, and then you got two safeties back deep to kind of help cover if anyone gets past the man coverage. So as you see my defensive play throughout this game, you're going to notice that I seem to be giving up a lot of yards. I seem to be giving up a lot of little short mid-range plays, and that's kind of actually my strategy. I'm playing very conservatively. In other words, kind of giving them an open to get those runs, get those short to medium pass plays, you know, because man coverage does have its flaws. If you got good receivers, you know your routes and you know your ways around the coverage, and you're good at watching those receivers and seeing which ones get open. You know, you'll find zone coverage leaves less short to medium plays open, but then you have the problems of people getting past your zones entirely, and you know you get those breakaway long touchdown pass or run plays, and man is just safer because you have those two safeties in the back. You know, especially with two-man, which is what I use now. If you're going man and then you're going to blitz, if I was doing a blitz, I'd almost rather do a zone blitz because you can have people more effectively cover the field with zone coverage when you got, you know, one or multiple guys blitzing on them. But I really very, very rarely blitz. Occasionally I'll pull out the blitz, but it's very, very rare. I try and play extremely conservative, and, you know, that way when I actually do break out the other stuff, it's actually a big surprise to people. But as you'll see, throughout this whole drive, I'll be giving up yardage. And you're going to see basically the reason why I'm doing this at the end, actually near the end of this drive. And it'll basically illustrate to you the soundness of this strategy. Even though it's giving up yards left and right, I only seem to be giving up yards. I'm still basically having them in strong coverage the whole time. And you're kind of wearing them down, forcing them to use a lot of plays to get up the field, and the more plays that they have to use to get up the field, then the more chances your team has to take the ball away. And it just takes that one play, that one person getting out of position, that one bad pass, like as you saw earlier where my guy got wide open and my quarterback threw the ball right at the opponent player. So, you know, giving up these chunks of yardage as I am here is not really that big of a concern. Now, right here, opponent's pulling a sneaky little move. No one in the backfield, but he just runs with his quarterback, although it looks pass all the way. And as you can see, what I do when that happens is I take control of a defensive player and try and cream him as hard as I can, make their quarterback pay, hopefully injure him. Now, as you can see, this guy calls a lot of hot routes and audibles and things like that. I personally don't like to do that. I don't like to second guess myself that much, and you can see why right here. I pick up the interception, and you can see kind of what my whole strategy was driving at, is giving him those short to medium gains, giving him the confidence, and eventually they're likely to make a mistake. They're not, I mean, depends on how good of a player you're going up against, but in that case, that's how it worked out. So as you can see, I've got the ball back, first down, and I'm going to run with it, do a little juke move, kind of unnecessary with my running back there, and pick up about 8 yards on that play. And that's always how I like to start out a drive. Sometimes if an opponent has really shut down my run, I might actually start out a drive with a pass, but I don't like him to force my hand that way. I like to try, and at least get a good running game established in every game, and definitely doesn't hurt to have someone like Emmitt Smith as your running back. So there's the end of the first quarter, guys, and it's still 0-0, very heavily defensive first quarter. And while I know it's very entertaining to watch a high-scoring game, as a player, as someone trying to win a football game, I honestly would rather be in a low-scoring game. I'd rather be in a very strongly defensive game, because those don't tend to turn into blowouts. There's always that chance, even if you're down in that game, that you could get a score once or twice, and you're right back in the game. Now, of course, I'm going to decline this penalty since it would only gain me 5 yards, and the play that it would have canceled out actually gained me a little over 10, got the first down. And when my running game is this well established and it's working this well, if I can run all the way up the field on you, then I'm going to run all the way up the field on you. I'll take it if you'll give it to me as far as running game goes. Right there was actually a shovel pass. It's actually looks like a run play, but it's actually a very short pass up the middle to my halfback, kind of a funky little pass. And that failed, so actually we're on 2nd and 9 now. Now watch my pass selection here. I wait for someone to get open, and as you can see, even though he's got coverage, the slant that he's on leaves him open over the middle. I'm able to thread the ball in there into the coverage and get the first down. And really, passing successfully is all about dropping back in the pocket and being calm. You'll see so many times when people play video game football, they'll drop back as the quarterback is designed to, and then they're going to run all around in the pocket. They're going to run all over the place. When you see me drop back in the pocket, I don't scramble very often. Actually, now that I think about it, the pocket probably deserves an explanation for those of you who aren't in the know on football terminology, but watch my quarterback drop back here. He's going to do a 3-step drop is what it's called. He drops back 3 steps. Now, that area of a few feet surrounding him is called the pocket. As you can see, someone got into the pocket pretty early, so I passed pretty early, but I did have an open man. Now, if someone gets into that pocket and you don't have that open man there, it's really advisable just not to pass. You're better off getting sacked than throwing an interception. And as you'll see this game, I don't give up a single turnover in this game, and that's typical of my gameplay when I'm on. Now, video game football, like I'm sure real-life football is a game of outthinking your opponents. And as you can see, he thought I was going to go for the pass. I was primarily past that entire drive. So those 2 plays, I went for the run, and it worked beautifully. He was sure after that first run play that I was going to go pass, and he blitzed really hard, and, he got his guys into the pocket, but my quarterback had already given up the ball to the running back. Touchdown, baby. And it's time for the extra point, and I'm going to score the first points in this contest, which I am very happy about. So my main man, Del Greco, gets ready to boot the kickoff into the air. I know I did choose star players for both my kicker and my punter position. It's something that probably most players who play this don't choose to do, but I just kind of wanted a balanced squad with, also some special teams in there as well. It's those little intangible things that can actually help you win games. For example, if I hadn't used my good punter on that initial punt where I had to go 3 and out in the first drive, and put them back so far, they may have actually gotten to the end zone before I got that interception. So basically, small things, they can make a big impact in the long run. And I don't know, I decided actually after playing a couple more games, which I did get beat 2 times in a row after this game, I will admit, like I said, I'm still shaking the rust off. I haven't played video game football in a while. But at the same time, I lost a couple games directly after this, and it was to teams that had put very strong defensive squads out. So I decided, what the heck, I'd do 2 things to counter that. I actually designed a team that was all offensive squad, that as far as stars players, that is. and then I designed a team that was all defensive squad as far as star players, and I have this balanced team. So whatever kind of team that someone wants to bring up against me, I kind of got a counter to that, and I'm just going to see basically what works against what type of opponents, and I'll get back with you on that, guys. But for right now, they're keeping these servers open. If you love American football, but you can't you can't afford Madden, that you would like to actually have Madden, but you can't afford it. Honestly, go buy this. If you play online, go buy this game for $3. I mean, I will play you for sure. I'm always looking for people to play against online, and but regardless, yeah, guys. You literally go down to your GameStop and buy this for $3, and they still have the servers up and running. I don't know how long that's going to be the case. But considering the fact that this was released in late 2007, it's now early 2012, and these servers are still up and running. That, just like I said earlier, that really shows that 2K Games really cares about their fans, because they certainly, in a game that didn't sell well enough to make a sequel to, but yet they still keep these servers running. That cannot be a cost-effective operation for them. So I just want to give huge kudos to 2K Sports for reaching deep into their pocketbook and not buying out the NFL license as EA did, but actually keeping servers alive for their fans who still want to play 2K Sports football, despite the fact that the game was released nearly 5 years ago. So as you can see, my two-man defense this time was inadequate to the task of stopping them from marching up the field for the touchdown, and they get in for the TD. But this half is just about over, no worries, and it's looking like it is going to finish just like the end of the first quarter did, with a tie game. So it's looking like 7-7 going into the half, and I get a weak kick and pick up a half-decent return. But regardless, I'm just going to run the clock out here anyways. So guys, you can expect my next half of football coming up in the next day or two on RGX Sports. Thanks, and have a great one, guys. Peace out.